everybody. Um, Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I forgot to grab my earbuds. Um, and I apologize for the delay. I will explain what happened in a second because I'm gonna be. Oh, okay, good, perfect. Phew. I'll explain what happened in just a second. I'm just gonna send out alerts real quick, and then we will get started. Okay. So just give me a few minutes. Just give me a few more minutes, guys. One more alert, I promise. Okay. All good. All right. Since the alert just out, I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in. And I apologize for the delay. Um, for a couple delays, actually, because you can probably hear my sniffling and coughing a little bit and my nasally nasally voice. So what ended up, if you guys didn't see the stream from the other week, apparently I tried to watch Run BTS on here with you guys. Um and it's still up so you could see what was going on. But I struggled a lot trying to get YouTube to share my screen, and there was no sound. I found out afterwards there was no sound. Um and every time that it was detecting that the video was playing, my stream would be paused, because I was streaming a copyrighted video, and I've seen people stream watching other videos before, so I'm going to have to figure out how I can get around that, because I want to definitely watch some BTS stuff with you guys. But until then, I have to kind of watch it myself and then talk with you afterwards. Excuse me. As of last week, the reason why I didn't stream was because I was very sick. Probably still hear it, like I said, that I'm still kind of fighting through it. It started with a bad throat and then it became a fever, but thankfully, fever's gone. Throat is all good. This is just leftover stuff from using nose spray. So, just gotta get through what's going on in here and then I'll be good. And then I delayed a few minutes today because for some reason, as I was trying to get everything set up, my thumbnail was uploading upside down and I had to try and find a workaround, but it's fixed, thankfully. So now I don't look like a goof holding up my phone upside down. But we're here, and we're here to talk about something fun. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Run BTS, even though I wanted to talk about that because it had come out recently. Because I was sick last week, I didn't really get around to watching it. Um, but what I am here to talk about today is the upcoming music awards, and a little bit more about ARIRANG because there's only so much we can say about music awards that have not happened yet. So, as of talking about what actually happens in the music awards, we could probably dedicate next week to it. Just let me know what you guys think. But today we're going to be kind of just going through like what's going to be in the music awards. The window for voting had closed, but if you saw my first stream, there was a link so that you could vote. But on May 9th, the voting window closed. So now it's up to fate to to decide how many armies had voted and such. But because of how incredible BTS has been lately, and because of them breaking records left, right, and center, I have a feeling that they're gonna walk up on that stage for at least one of the 3 categories that they are nominated in. And for those who don't know, BTS is nominated in 3 different categories, one of them being Artist of the Year, um, and then Swim was nominated for Song of the Summer, and BTS was also nominated in the Best Male K-pop Artist. And those are just 3 out of how many categories are there in here? Because I know you get 30 votes you got 30 votes per category. Excuse me. Forgive my sniffling and coughing today because it's still not fully gone away. But how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 50 categories. BTS is nominated in 3 of them. Even if we don't get all 3, I will consider it a huge success if they walk away with even one of those awards. Personally. I don't know how the rest of Army is gonna think. But Artist of the Year, who are they going up against? They are so for Artist of the Year, the choices there were Bad Bunny, Bruno Mars, BTS, of course, Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, Kendrick Lamar, Lady Gaga, Morgan Wallen, Sabrina Carpenter, and Taylor Swift. You know how hard it was to dedicate all 30 of my votes to BTS and not the other artists in here that I absolutely love? I'm going to be honest, it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy. Because I like Sabrina Carpenter, I like Taylor Swift, I love Lady Gaga, I like Morgan Wallen, Justin Bieber, I know about him, Harry Styles, I know what, 2 songs. Bruno Mars I really like as well. But I didn't split up any of my votes with that one. I just all 30 onto BTS. I just went full army with this. Song of the Summer. Where is that one? There it is. So, Song of the Summer had Fever Dream by Alex Warren. Very good song. Very, very good song. I have a friend who absolutely loves it. Speaking of which, I Love It, I Love It, I Love It by Bella K. Swim by BTS, of course. It's a great summer song. Choosing Texas by Ella Langley. American Girls by Harry Styles. The Great Divide by Noah Kahan. And I forgive me if I pronounce some names wrong. Stateside by Pink Panthers and Zara Larson. Homewrecker by Somber. Dracula by Tame Impala and Jenny. It's cool to see Jenny back doing stuff like this. And Elizabeth Taylor by Taylor Swift. And I'm gonna be honest, aside from Swim, I only know about Fever Dream. I have not heard any of the other songs. But even then, Fever Dream kind of feels like, to me, it's just there. Because I don't know if I said this on my first stream, but with me, with music, I have to bond with a song before listening to it on my playlist. BTS is the very first time that I did it the opposite way, where I bonded with the artist first and then listened to the music, bonding with the music that way. Everybody else, I had to bond with the song first. And I tried doing it that way again with Blackpink. And I do love Blackpink, but I got to be honest, there are songs that I haven't really bonded with, don't hit me as much as BTS's songs do. I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but um unless I bonded with the song from Blackpink in Just Dance, very few of them I actually really like a lot on my play. I still keep them on my playlist cuz I love Blackpink, so I want to support them. But BTS is the only time where that actually worked with all of their music. And then hold on, best male K-pop artist. Where is it? Alternative rock. Best male K-pop artist. We have Atiz, BTS, and Hyphen. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. I have never heard of them before. Stray Kids and Tomorrow by Together. Only one of them I haven't heard of before. Atiz, I only really like one song from them, and that would be Say My Name, again from Just Dance, because Just Dance is really how I bond with a lot of these songs. To the point where I have some of their so I have some Just Dance troll songs on my playlist. I have Rasputin, I have the Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, among other songs. Stray Kids are very cool. Stray Kids is very cool. Christmas Evil is the only song that I actually really listen to from them, but still a very cool group. And then Tomorrow by Together. I know Tomorrow by Together is usually, like, to me, I see them as BTS's little brother. Because because they were inspired by BTS, at least as far as I understand. But the only song I ever heard from them was there, I think it's called Do It Like That. It's one that they did with the Jonas Brothers. But that's the only thing that I heard of from Tomorrow by Together. But regardless, I'm extremely excited for the music awards. It's going to be on May 25th, so Memorial Day, this coming Monday. And hold on. 8 p.m. ET on CBS and Paramount Plus. So I know I have to do CBS because I don't have Paramount Plus. Unless I can log into someone's account in my family on my TV, but I want to make sure that I have CBS first before I do that. But that's just me thinking out loud. In the meantime, to take a quick break before we talk about ARIRANG, because I definitely still want to keep talking about that. However, let me just double check and make sure that I saw it correctly, because I did get a comment on my very first stream asking me a question that I would that I would like to answer. It's not BTS related at all. It's actually related to the video that I made about my apartment review, and I promise I'll talk about ARIRANG after this, but because this person asked this question, I wanna make sure that I address it. So, the question that I got was involving the story that I told in that video about the tracker that was placed on my car. I even have pictures. Hold on. Um, I know I showed pictures in the video, but I wanna show pictures here as well. So excuse my sniffing. So that, because the topic is coming up again, so I would rather show what the tracker looked like. It was on the back of my muffler. This is what it looked like. I just walked by and I just saw it randomly. Um, this is what it was inside. The little black part was the actual tracker, and the blue part was the battery. It had a super strong magnet so it could stick to my muffler. So it wasn't bolted at all. It was just a super big magnet. I have the serial number and everything. But the comment that I got about it was, "Can you tell us about the tracker under your car from the Winter Park apartment? I live here and there's this weirdo cop that's been stalking me and flagging my apartment for violations 24/7. It does not stop, and he stalks me and watches me every time I go out at night around the complex," which is a serious problem. I do remember when I did live there, there were 2 cops I remember that used to live there, at least when I was there. There was one towards the back and then one in the building, I think, next to mine, because I saw their cop cars there. But, that is seriously an issue. I Hi. Um, to, uh to catch you up, there's a comment about, the tracker in my apartment video that I'm discussing right now, before I continue talking about BTS. Because someone asked the question, I would like to address it on stream because it was a comment that was made on my first stream about me being Army. So I like to address it. But since the cop, so directed to this person who commented that, if this cop is constantly stalking you, I would absolutely report it. Um, Sadly though, from now personal experience and from what I tend to see a lot, police departments don't tend to take stalking very seriously. That is a problem on its own, but another issue is that even if you file a complaint against a cop in the police department, which you are more than allowed to do, they are legally allowed to and encouraged to throw complaints out about cops. And it is a huge issue with that. I don't think that's fair at all because there could be a cop that could do something extremely bad, messed up, and it won't go anywhere unless the cop actually does some physical damage. Then they would be forced to resign. They wouldn't be let go, they wouldn't be fired. They would be pressured into resigning. It is a big problem. So, as far as doing anything about this stalking cop, I would definitely report it to a non-emergency number to the sheriff's department. At least to get it into their system and try and see if you can make a case against it. If you are able to get any security up, like say put a Ring camera on your balcony, on your door, something so that you're able to catch this cop in the act. If you're able to sue the cop, I would explore the option so that you could do it the best way possible and try. And if you could get a restraining order against the cop, it would make it so much better. because if you get an order like that and they continue doing it, you would be able to have proof of them violating the order. But that's just my suggestion. As for hold on. They don't act till it's too late. I would also add maybe look into purchasing a firearm just in case to defend yourself. Some states have castle doctrine like Florida, which allows you to defend yourself from intruders. That's very true. If you are able to get a firearm, if you're comfortable with getting a firearm, if you feel like you have to do that in case the cop comes to your door, um, I would recommend it for sure. Um, in Winter Park, I don't know if there are any like shooting ranges to practice. Hi. Um, I see another new person in the comments. To catch you up, there's a person who asked about the tracker on my car from my apartment video. So we're just giving suggestions. Because there's a cop that's constantly stalking this person. But yeah, that would those are pretty much my suggestions. To get Ring or Simply Safe, because Simply Safe has pretty good packaging for security bundles. But yeah, definitely see if you can get a camera for your door, maybe for your balcony if it looks out towards the parking lot. But even if it looks out towards the lake, still better to have it than to not have it. You know what I mean? Um, because this is a very serious problem if this cop is constantly stalking you. If you are able to ring up the Winter Park Orange County Sheriff's Department using a non-emergency number, definitely let them know. Even if it might not go anywhere right away, get it into their system as a case, and so they can at least say they'll do something about it, but it'll be in their system at least. Like they're not gonna ask for the details and not write it down. They're gonna put it in their system. Um, so make sure you have the proof, and if you're able to like know like which cop this is, yeah, scary situation indeed. See if you can do a restraining order, something. As for the tracker story, unfortunately, it is still inconclusive. No update has happened since my apartment video. But to anybody who doesn't know, to recap, if you saw the pictures before, the tracker was put on the back of my like the back muffler on the back of my car. And I saw it as I passed it to go to the mailbox. Um, and I called the non-emergency for the sheriff's department, let them know the situation, and it was a very scary time because by that point my mom had just divorced. My ex-stepfather is crazy, and I was worried because it was right around Mother's Day that he could have put the tracker on my car to try and track my mom if she came here, if the not here, but to my apartment in Winter Park. So even if it could have been a stranger at that point, because I didn't know if it was him or someone in the complex or someone at my school. And because of the timing, I was scared to death. So sheriff came, disconnected it just in case, but had an emergency, so he had to leave. And then my boyfriend came, and then two different sheriffs came to finish the report. Sadly, I lost the case number in all the moving chaos that I had recently. In today's world and being a young woman, man, that can be terrifying. For sure. Absolutely. I share that. Um from what the sheriffs told me while we were writing the report, because my car is a Hyundai, a lot of people in the area, like they get a lot of tracker reports. Excuse me. Um Specifically on Hyundais and Kias because of a catalytic converter. So some people might be trying to like track the car to get the catalytic converter. Um, so they suspected it was the same thing with mine, but I might still have the case number on my old phone. I'll check it when I get home. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but uh after all of that happened, I gave them the tracker so that they have it in evidence for that case. And they asked me some questions, and then they um I had also spoken with a friend the next day because at that point I had class on Tuesday and Thursday, and I had gotten home on Tuesday at 6:30 in the evening. I found it at noon on Wednesday, so it was an 18-hour window that it could have happened. So I didn't even move. So if it was a person in the complex and they saw me with the cops, I'm fingers crossed that I scared them off, um but I still want to know who it was because I was scared. Terrible timing, really. So I would like to press charges regardless of who it is. But But after the detective reached out to me on August 13th, 2025, saying that they sent a subpoena to Amazon because my boyfriend and I saw that um, you could buy that specific tracker on Amazon for like 50 bucks. So that's why they sent the subpoena to Amazon instead of the company of the tracker. Which we should have said, "Hey, there's a website for it," but we didn't know until after the fact. Um, but they sent the subpoena to Amazon, and that was the last update that I got on August 13th, almost a year ago. It's already May 22nd, and the summer is fast approaching. It's almost gonna be a year since I heard anything from that detective. I've tried calling that number that the detective called me from. Nothing. No answer, no update, no voicemail, nothing. And it's pissing me off. It really is. Cheap bastards got an Amazon Basics tracker. Side note, why is that a thing? Good question, because I have absolutely no idea. But good question. Definitely needs to be asked and needs to be answered. Um, for all of our sake. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Like I said before, I'm still battling the leftover cold symptoms from my fever from last week. So forgive my coughing and sniffling and such. My friend's dad was a cop. I can ask her if he has any advice if you want. I appreciate that. Thank you. I definitely take some advice because I don't want this to go on for a year and me not knowing the identity of who bought the tracker and put it on my car. And I can't get any security footage to add on to that because I remember uh like looking around and I didn't see any cameras. So to confirm, I went to the leasing office and asked if there was cameras over the parking lot and explained the situation. They said that there's 3 cameras in the whole complex, one in the gym, one over the pool, and one at the gate. And the one at the gate takes really bad, blurry pictures of the cars that are going in and out. Um, when I got attacked, the police didn't really do anything despite multiple witnesses and knowing their exact address, they dropped the case entirely. It is so annoying that police prioritize immediate at-risk situations when something is happening like right in front of them versus actual cases that they have all the evidence for. They don't do anything until they're pressed. I remember like when the whole Karen thing blew up, there was this one lady whose family sold a house decades before, and there was a family who lived in the house who were not white. I forgot what race they were. I think they were Hispanic. But she kept going back to the house, banging on the door, saying to get out. It was her home, and these people had taken over the house even though it was not her house. And she even brought a hammer at one point, broke in and threatened them with it. And the cops didn't do anything until the ring footage went viral, and then she was arrested and charged. Not not charged to the best amount either. Such a problem. It is such a problem. But as for this commenter, that's basically the story and my suggestions on it. If you have any more questions, definitely let me know. And if anybody else watching has any topics they want me to discuss, because this is mainly supposed to be a BTS thing, but I'm on here for at least 2 hours. So if we have to talk about anything important, we can definitely take some time to discuss those. But um, but I'm always checking my comments on my previous streams. Um, if you have anything, the best suggestion, as much as it sucks, moving and only telling close friends and family where you're going. I guess it's a good suggestion, but again, this person said that because they are living in Winter Park. Thankfully now, whoever put the tracker on your car doesn't know where you are now. True. That's true. But this person lives in Alvista, which is why they commented that, asking the question. So, who knows what they're there for? Whether it's the living situation that they could land, or maybe they're going to Full Sail. Who knows? But they asked me that because they were living in Alvista, and the cop, to say again what they were saying, I live here and there's this weirdo cop that's been stalking me and flagging my apartment for violations 24/7, and it doesn't stop. So this cop constantly stalks this person, and it's a problem. So because it's definitely very important, and it's something that I had talked about before, I wanted to take some time and talk about it here, since it was a comment on my stream before. So I wanted to definitely address this person directly through here and talk about it. I'll ask my cop daughter friend and I'll get back to you. Oh, and oh yeah, get a firearm. Yeah, for sure. But as far as the tracker goes and as far as the stalker cop goes, it's really all I can say. So definitely, if you have any suggestions for topics, or if you need to ask me anything, I'm always checking my comments from my streams. This is the third stream that I have up, so come back to any of the streams really, because I'll keep track of my comments. Ask me if you tell me if you want me to cover a certain topic, whether it's in the past with BTS, or if it's for a previous video, I'll dedicate some time to it. Um, but since we're here to talk about BTS, if you have, because this is my streams are mainly meant to be a big army zone, so I want to dedicate as much time to that as possible. So if you have any topics or points or updates that you want to talk about, leave them in the comments. Let me know. I'll dedicate streams to that. And since the music awards are coming up, that's why I dedicated this one to the music awards. I talked about the music awards a bunch already. And to kind of go back to what I was saying, in case you missed it, um, the music awards are coming up Monday at 8 p.m. EST on both CBS and Paramount Plus. So if you have Paramount Plus, I highly recommend do it there. But I don't have Paramount Plus, so I'm gonna try and do it on CBS if I can. If I can't, I'll ask a family member if they have an account. But speaking of the music awards, What would be your top 3? Top 3 what? Top pick overall. This is a BTS live stream. You're gonna ask me that? Come on. I mean, the, best overall? I don't know. Saying yes. I don't know. But, but again, since the music awards are coming up on Monday, um, I spent some time talking about it. There's social songs of the year, song of the year, music artist of the year, new artist of the year, album of the year, which I'm so shocked that ARIRANG wasn't nominated for album of the year. There are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different albums nominated for album of the year, and ARIRANG was not there. But they were still nominated in 3 categories. I see that comment there. um, they were nominated for Artist of the Year and Best Male K-pop Artist of the Year, and their song "Swim" was nominated for Song of the Summer. And I know I said this already, but even if they don't walk away with all 3, which they should because they broke records upon their return, but even if they didn't walk away with all 3, I would be ecstatic if they walked away with at least 1 of the 3. They have to. It's impossible for them not to, because that's how awesome they are. But again, it's at 8 p.m. EST on Monday, Memorial Day, so perfect day for that. Um, I'll definitely be tuning in, and next week I'll dedicate a little bit of time talking about what happened in the music awards because I'm fairly certain there's going to be some fun moments in it. Um, but as far as the music awards go, not really much else to say about it. There's 50 different categories, and the fact that BTS were nominated in 3 of those 50 is huge. For the American 2026 American Music Awards. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely be watching. If you're thinking of watching it as well, now you know where to look. Um, and for Swim being nominated Song of the Summer, excuse me. Um, gotta say, I feel like it's perfect. It's perfect. Not just because it's like swimming, so you swim in the summertime. I really mean like it's a beautiful, upbeat song, and I definitely feel like that says summer all over it. Um, but as far as a rerun is concerned, because I I listened to the whole album again recently. Um, because I actually BTS actually has a mobile game. So, um, because they have a new area, because they have so it's basically BTS getting stranded on islands, and you have to it's like a match 3 game, so you play the puzzles, and the more stars you collect, the more you progress through the main story. I'm on chapter 2, so if anybody watching has made it through all 6 chapters already, which chapter 6 just dropped if you didn't know, no spoilers in the chat, please. I'm only in chapter 2. I don't need any spoilers. But on top of the islands, there's also secret areas, and secret areas are kind of mini events, but they always stick around. So the more that you play, the more stuff that you can collect to um progress more in the secret area and build up the secret area until it's complete. Right now, the brand new one is of an Arirang stage for their comeback, and it's perfect. It actually looks like it's in a Japanese style, which is kind of cool. Um, and the dialogue in between each upgrade is them talking about like just got a comment that says spoiler chapter 5 ends at the start of chapter 6. Thanks. Thanks. But I said no spoilers. That's a rule breaker. That's not allowed here. That's not allowed here. I'm just messing. Um, I haven't completed the ARIRANG comeback stage either. Um, but from what I have heard so far, because BTS is actively involved in the making of this game, so everything they put in is as accurate as it can be with a completely different team working on it all the time. But they were talking about like the different songs being put into it. They were crediting Jin because they believed that he worked the hardest because since he was the first one out, he started to keep things going all on his own, and he said it was like super fun and this and that, which I thought was pretty sweet. And then they were talking about their favorites from the album, and I remember, I think it was Jimin's favorite so far was Normal, and Normal definitely speaks volumes. Oh my goodness. Um, let me let me pull up the lyrics so that I can accurately talk about this. It's it I feel like Normal means a lot to them on I see your comment. I feel like Normal means a lot to them on a specific level because of the lyrics that are written in it. Cuz it talks about it talks about what they do being normal to them. Hold on, let me read what it says. Kerosene, dopamine, chemical induced, fantasy and fame. Yeah, the things we choose. Show me hate, show me love, make me bulletproof. Yeah, we call this shit normal. Run away, out of sight. I don't know what I want. Wish I had a minute just to turn me off. Kerosene, dopamine, what I gotta do. Yeah, we call this shit normal. What they do is a lot on them. And it's both extremely rewarding and makes them extremely happy, but sometimes it's a lot. They get a lot of hate from people just looking to hate on something because there's not really anything to hate on them for. And there are some times where they just want to turn it off, and because of timing, they just can't yet. Oh, give me a second. It's a lot on them, but this, but they have been going at this. I think June is going to be 15 years that they have been BTS. 15 years of this and 15 years of building what they have now. Oh my goodness. They built all of this in 15 years. And they call this shit normal. This is their normal. It speaks volume to them. That's why this song I feel like is huge. It's cuz so my personal favorites from ARIRANG 2.0 to me means a lot to them. The same way this does. So I feel like 2.0 is one of my favorites because it talks about them coming back and their journey and how they're this is like a brand new addition. I absolutely love 2.0 and the dance so fun to learn. But my absolute favorite from ARIRANG was Hooligan. Hooligan takes me back to their older days when like their very first album. Hooligan to me feels a lot like We Are Bulletproof, and feels kind of similar to No, but I feel like We Are Bulletproof Part 2 feels more like Hooligan. And to me, that's nostalgic. I know I haven't been Army as long as other people, um but even in the 2 years that I've been Army, going back to their older stuff, seeing their younger selves, and then seeing their projects going through the timeline and watching them grow, it still hits me in a nostalgic way. And sorry, I had to step away from a moment, got some news I had to process. Hope everything's okay, but if you have to step out for a second, I don't mind. This is gonna be posted anyway, so, um, but that's why I like Hooligans so much. And seeing them open the concert with it. When my boyfriend and I went to the concert, they opened up with Hooligan. They blended in perfectly with the dancers that went out onto the stage, and it's like they just appeared out of nowhere. Hope everything is okay. Yeah, me too. Me too, for sure. It was I just got a text about what it was. I am so sorry. I understand why you didn't wanna say in the comments. I appreciate that. Your business is your business. If you like I said, this will be posted afterwards, so if you feel the need to step out for a minute, then it's perfectly fine. I'm gonna be here for another hour anyway. So, um, just take all the time you need to process that. Um, funny thing about Hooligan, if you don't know, um, I remember them sitting down to talk about it, and RRM said that he hated the ha-has in the of course, in the song because it was so hard to, like, to get it down, and funny thing, the person who wrote that line doesn't even do those lines. It wasn't RM, it wasn't J-Hope, it wasn't Suga, and it wasn't V. It was Jungkook. And so he was like Jungkook was the one who wrote that line, "Hey, you try to do it," and he stumbled trying to do it. Everybody was laughing because it was kinda funny. But it still came out so well. It took me a couple of times of practicing it, but I nailed it whenever I sing along. Um, but they brought up normal in the game, so I wanted to talk about it here. And then the last upgrade that I got so far on the ARIRANG comeback stage was them asking Jin what his favorite was, and he said Into the Sun. And from what they were talking about, Into the Sun was written entirely by V, and V wasn't sure about how good the song was. So he almost didn't put it in the album, but they encouraged him to not only put it in, but put it in at the end. And not only did it work out so well, I remember at the concert, they finished the concert with that song. Into the Sun was the finale song, and it's absolutely perfect. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Cause cause Into the Sun feels a lot like it feels a lot like Stay Gold is a good song that I would definitely compare it to. But it's beautiful. It's a loving kind of song. It's hopeful. It's comforting. You could definitely I'm scared to know the joke that I just got in the comments is some would say butterful. because of their other song. If we don't have the BTS members here to make bad jokes about their own music, we have a live stream here to make bad jokes all day, or at least for 2 hours. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thanks for the laugh. I needed it right now. Yeah, of course. Of course, we're all here to laugh. RM was making me laugh recently because I keep looking at their stuff on Instagram. He has a Psyduck hat that he wore on stage. They just did their shows in Stanford, and he wore the hat on stage. He wore a Psyduck hat on stage. I love that they're Pokemon fans, don't get me wrong, but my god. He wore a Psyduck hat on stage. And that is the best goof I've ever seen. And I know he did it on purpose. He loves that hat. Let me see if I can find the Can I find a picture? Of course, I immediately get a video of Jungkook dancing on stage. Hang on. I don't think he did it in Mexico City. No, he didn't. They all wore cowboy hats in Mexico City, which was pretty cool. God, where is the... Hang on. Okay, this isn't him on stage, but this is him. The Psyduck hat. He wore it on stage. He wore it on stage. He's so funny. Kirby shirt, Pokemon cards, all kinds of fun stuff. I love that they collect Pokemon cards. So cool. Did they go to Dave and Buster's? I think they went to Dave and Buster's. I recognize that game. But I don't know. I absolutely love what they're doing. One of my favorite moments in the concert definitely was Merry Go Round, which is another one of their songs from ARIRANG. And Merry Go Round, I feel like I've heard a song similar to that before. It's called Carousel and almost says the same thing, but I don't know. I feel like I love Merry Go Round a lot more because it feels more emotional than Carousel. I still want to try a team of Ditto against you in the TCG. A team of Ditto against me? Come on. This is why I gave you, in particular, a Ditto pet in Tamagotchi Life. Excuse me. But Merry-Go-Round, I think, was one of my favorite moments in the whole show, mainly because of the stage. So the way that they're doing their stages here in this tour is that this is the first time that they're doing a 360 stage, if you haven't seen it yet. Or haven't seen or don't know. They're doing a 360 stage, and it's their very first time doing it, so they see everybody around them. And it makes for a perfect stage. Because in the middle, there's 8 sections. There's one in the very, very middle, and then there's 7 different sections. So there are some songs where some of them are singing at different times, and it'll rise some members and lower others. It's pretty cool. And on Merry-Go-Round, there's a few songs where they lifted the whole thing, and it's a screen when it's lifted up. So around the sides, you can see something different. for when they sang "Run BTS," around the side there were a bunch of people jogging. Meanwhile, they were doing their choreography on top of it. It was so cool. And merry-go-round, I don't remember if anything was projected on it during merry-go-round, but it lifted them up and it spun in the opposite way of them walking. So it looked like they weren't going anywhere. Because the song relates love to being on a merry-go-round that they're stuck on and it won't turn off. Where it just feels like they're just going around in circles with no end, no goal, no result, because it's just constant repeat. And seeing them walking and not going anywhere was a very, very cool result. And then eventually it stops and they're all walking, spiraling into the middle. It was one of the coolest moments I've ever seen. And why I feel like the 360 stage was so clever, because you're able to have the stage spin and be able to see it from all sides. It is so cool. It's so cool. What else is there to talk about? Because Swim was the song that was nominated. Let's see if there's anything more to say about that. Because Swim, I feel like most of the stuff that I have to say about Swim would be in the music video. Um, because I remember even in the game they talked about it, and Swim in the game they were saying that it relates a lot to them as like their career and everything, saying to just keep swimming no matter like what life throws at you. Just keep swimming, you'll get there. Which the lyrics of the song don't really say that, but I can definitely see how that connotation could work. Um, but Swim sounds to me more like a love song. So I don't know if the just keep swimming analogy connects with it completely, but they are definitely using that with Army. So now it's a new saying to keep swimming. Um, which I'm interpreting that as don't give up. So I I like what became of it. I really, really do. And I have a strong feeling that they were using it behind the scenes before this album came out. Um, but the song itself to me feels more like a love song. It is beautiful, it's romantic. Um, and it basically puts you in a special moment. The music video though, I feel like I would have a lot more to say about that, cuz every video kind of paints a different story using the song. But sometimes to me, the song and the video say two different things. Um, cuz while Swim is romantic, the music video was very mysterious to me. And it was mostly how the actress was interacting with the members. Um, what was her last name? I forgot her last name. I know her first name was Lily. Da, da, da. Where is it? Excuse me. 'Cause I remember I saved it. It's too far. Did I not save it? No. No. Uh, uh, Did I not save it at all? I'm so confused. Like, no matter where I look, I can't find it. It's like I feel like I've seen a ghost. Hold on. Uh, I remember it was on her story. Yeah. Maybe I should stop looking at everywhere else, and I should just actually look at the credits because they did put credits at the end of the video. I should just look there when the ad is done playing. And I'm muting it so that, my stream doesn't get flagged again. But from what I'm trying to say, hang on. Lily Reinhardt, that's who it was. That's who it was. All that time, I am so sorry. Thanks. Thanks. Said it at the same time. Lily Reinhardt. But because to me, what the video was showing was Lily waking up on the boat, the members working on the boat around her, but even though they could see her, she could not see them. And my thinking was wondering how that could work, wondering what the story is with that and why she would not be able to see them. She could feel them. There was well, I didn't see your comment until I looked up and I found the name. So me. So in my eyes I said it first. Me. But anywho, it was definitely very mysterious. Like I'm wondering why that was the case, because they could see her, and even if she touched them, because there was a moment where she hit shoulders with V, but even though V could see her, she could not see him. And in the moment after that, Jin could see her in the bathroom, like crying over the sink, but when she looked up at the mirror, he was not there in her eyes. And when she jumps off the boat, they're all assuming she jumps off the boat. They're all looking out the distance from where she jumped, and she recognized the boat. She knew the boat was real. But I'm wondering, like, I'm wondering in my head how to interpret her not being able to see them, but kind of knowing that they're there. It's so hard to describe because the story in the video is so interesting. The song itself, beautiful, but like I said, the music video is telling a different story from what the lyrics are telling. Um, I feel like with this album, the Hooligan and 2.0 were more on track with what the lyric, so the story matched up with the song. Um, Not that they were as much like story music videos as much as they were just cool music videos showcasing the song. So that's why it fits so much. But I remember they do that with like the story thing. They do that with other music videos as well. Like No was them breaking free from what they were gonna be, like, made to do, I guess is one way to put it. Like, they were gonna be programmed or conditioned to do some things, and they ended up breaking out of it, um, and defeating defeating the enemy, coming out on top. And in that case, I feel like the song fits, especially the choreography. Um, which, by the way, No was my favorite music video for a long time until 2.0 came out. And I feel like the 2.0 music video came out to both be badass and hilarious. I swear they came back with the sole intention of not just releasing cool music and seeing Army, they came back to break our brains. And I'm all here for it. It's so funny. It is so funny. Oh, what's another good one? Aliens is fun. I feel like Aliens was written as just a really fun song. And Fire, I feel like also was another really good one. What I loved, another thing that I loved about the concert was that since they also have a song called Fire, and it's one of their concert staples because of the choreography, it was interesting because they remixed the two together. And they sang a lot of Fire first, and then they added in Fire, started singing Fire, and then they started singing both of them together. It was really cool. It was really cool. I absolutely loved it. Oh my god. There's so much thought that goes into all the songs. Number 29, I feel like is the only one that's actively ignored because it's just one long bass note, and you don't even know that the bass note is there unless it's at a max volume. It's just a long bass note. Which I feel is a lot of is like an interlude track. And I did see Jimin use it on one of his posts, so excuse me. Um Number 29 I feel like has its own uses. So I don't think it's a bad addition to the album. I feel like it's definitely like an interlude kind of track, like I said, but um they didn't use it in the concert for obvious reasons. They can't sing a song that they don't sing in the album, but they definitely still use it, so it's definitely there. Body to Body, I feel like it also felt nostalgic. Um but it didn't feel like We Are Bulletproof Part 2 kind of nostalgic like uh Hooligan did. I feel like Animals and Aliens oh my god, also felt nostalgic. They Don't Know About Us, I feel like hits a little bit different cuz They Don't Know About Us could be connected to a couple of things. It definitely sounds like who they were before, where they were happy with like 150 likes on something. And even if they ran out of money, they still pursued the passion. And here they are with over 1 billion people coming to their shows. The concert that I went to, there were 65,000 people. Was it that many? Is that what they said? See, I think it was 65,000 that went to see them in Tampa. It was huge and freaking awesome that many people showed up to support them. It was absolutely incredible. To hear that, like, to see the stadium is one thing, and to see all of Army in the stadium is one thing. To hear the number is something else entirely. And it made me feel proud to be someone that was there to support them. One of 65,000 people at one location. It was so many, it took 3 tries to park. Yup. It was awesome, though. It really was. Absolutely was. I know you were there with me, so if you have a favorite moment that you wanna bring up, let me know. Um, I remember you saying that you really liked Run BTS. Fake Love was cool too. One of my favorite moments was them like it was during like an intermission part where they had to change. So they had 3 people go out and dance with white cloths. And it was meant to mimic, let me just fix this so you can see our little buddies in the back. Um, but it was meant to match Jimin dancing Butter. Butter was just fun. Butter's always just fun. I think I was dancing next to you. It was funny because we would be standing still and I would be like jumping up and down a little bit, and somehow we would move a seat down. I don't know how we did that, but it wasn't just us. I feel like it was our whole row that did that. There were some empty seats, so I think that's why there was some confusion, but we somehow moved a seat over. I don't know how that happened. Um oh my goodness. I didn't see any other comments for topics. So I apologize if I'm coming up empty. Um there are some other things I can bring up. Let's Is there any updates on Weavers? Because I haven't checked Weavers. I haven't gotten around to seeing the rest of Run BTS either. I will, definitely I will, but I haven't had the chance this past week because like I was saying, I was sick. Um Permission to Dance was really fun too. Oh, Permission to Dance. So, Permission to Dance, not only was it awesome, they had us sing it because they had the DJ choose 2 random songs to for BTS to sing, which I remember seeing in a previous video they did I Need You. So I thought that they were going to perform I Need You as one of their planned songs. Now I know it was one of the random songs cuz we got Permission to Dance. And I so Permission to Dance towards the end has na 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 na, and I didn't realize in the moment, but it cut off right before that part, so it sounded like the end of the song. Jimin, I saw him like I was able to see him because he was on our side of the stage. He jumped up like this, super excited as the song cut off. So he just did this. He was like, it was so funny. I understand him too. And I remember seeing posts afterwards from Jungkook saying that he would have been angry as well because the song cut off. I felt so bad seeing that because besides that, even with that, in my opinion, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect getting to see that song and hear that song. People were asking for Pied Piper as well, but Pied Piper didn't come up. I wish we got Pied Piper. But we got Permission to Dance and oh god, what was the other one? Magic Shop. We got Permission to Dance and Magic Shop. I'm not mad with what we got. I love Permission to Dance and Magic Shop is also close to my heart. So I'm not mad that we didn't get Pied Piper because we still got 2 good songs anyway. But it was funny seeing Jimin do that. Dynamite was also really fun. Dynamite's always fun. I feel like Dynamite is just there for a good time. Same with Permission to Dance, but Dynamite just feels extremely lighthearted and cheery. And bright colors. That's what it feels like, is bright colors. Let me see. So it looks like another part of their concert was uploaded onto YouTube. But someone has been posting lately. It's Taeyong. Taeyong's replying to comments. there was a comment that someone posted saying, "Taehyung, which country do you want to go to?" And he said, "Turkey." Sorry about the sun. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. I'll block the sun. I apologize for blocking my little friends, but um, I wonder if they'll ever get to go to Turkey, because that sounds like a lot of fun. But it looks like Taehyung has been replying to comments lately. Um, we got Taehyung. If you want to improve your English skills, you need to watch an English movie with Korean subtitles. It helps a lot. He said, "I watch it a lot. Why isn't it getting better? I think I have to live in the US to improve my English." Okay, so I definitely relate to that because was trying to learn Korean, and there are a few things that I remember grasping. Partial to chicken. The language of chicken. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side. Anyway, um but it's really hard to not just to learn and keep a language in your head if you don't use it every day, which is why he probably said that he would have to live in the US in order to really improve of it, because if you're not actively using it every day, how are you going to keep it in your head? So, chicken noodle soup. Anyway, cuz with Korean, the few phrases that I have with Korean are hello, thank you, and are you okay? And hurry up. Mainly by watching them, but when it comes to speaking in Korean sentences, I've been using Duolingo and it's fine. I've been taking notes, so I at least have what certain words are, but I don't remember them. I'm not using it every day because I don't live in South Korea. So I don't need to I don't I'm not actively needing it every day. So I'm not keeping it in my head. It's just leaving my head after I'm done with Duolingo lessons because I don't need it. So that's why learning a language can be tough because you're not going to need it. Um, with putting that was another thing that I realized with putting languages in classes. I understood sign language because sign language you would be potentially using it a lot. But another class that I took when I was younger was Italian. When am I going to need Italian? Like I learned Italian just for the class, and then when I moved, I didn't need Italian anymore. I hardly remember anything from that class at all. So, Italian is out of my head. Korean is tough. And clearly for them, English is tough. And they have some English in them, mainly from writing lyrics, but I feel like lately they've gotten a little bit more comfortable with English, especially with putting it in their songs. But they're not talking in English every day. They are abroad, so right now they're having to switch languages. But but as far as English goes, they're not in the States all the time. Since they live in South Korea, they're not always going to be using English unless they're singing. You know what I mean? Because singing it is one thing. Like I've gotten some Korean sounds down with the Korean lyrics, but that's the Korean lyrics. Once you get the vowels down and sounds down when you're singing a song, then you can copy that specific phrase in that specific moment. Speaking it to someone is different. It's very, very different. One second. So I understand why he would be struggling. By the way, if anybody watching this afterwards has anything to add about the concerts, if you've seen them live yet, let me know your experiences. Let me know what you absolutely loved about it. If there's anything that you wanted to talk about with these concerts, I definitely want to hear about it. This is a big army zone. This is why we're here. What else did they Essentially, there's a difference between singing the lyrics and pronunciation and actually understanding the language. That's very true. That is another way of that's another way of putting it. That's very good. Cuz even if I am able to pronounce the lyrics that I'm singing, it doesn't mean that I understand the lyric that I just sang, you know what I mean? So, oh whoops, hang on. There's another comment that he replied to recently. So the fan post was Taehyung, try various hair colors in the future. That why I that way, sorry, I can't read apparently. That way I can see more cool pictures. And for those who don't know about the different eras of BTS, they dye their hair a lot. Right now, most of them have black hair. Jimin has his blonde. RM has his, I think, a little bit blonde. But in the past, I've seen blue, red, pink, all kinds of stuff. They've definitely dyed their hair a lot before. Taehyung specifically, I remember seeing him at one point with blue hair. I've seen him at one point with red hair. They always dye their hair. It just depends on the era that they're in. But right now, like coming out of the military, they couldn't dye their hair. Jimin dyed his hair recently back to blonde, but all of them had to have black hair. Um, and have it short too. They had to get their hair shaven down. Not like shave to where they were bald, but they had black hair. He said but to reply to this, he said, "When I go to Korea, I think I will have to dye it black again because of the advertisement. Only the stage is pretty, but the picture is kind of bad." And by the way, they typed all this in Korean, so I'm just reading what Weaver has translated it into. Um, but even on stage, I still feel like the pictures are really good. To me, the pictures are always good. Um, but if he thinks it looks better on stage, then more power to him. Let's see what else he said. So this post says, Taehyung, did you lose weight again? He was really cool when he was muscular. So when Taehyung came out of the military, I remember I was shocked because his arms got so muscular that they like tripled in size. I was like, holy cow. Like your arms could rival Jungkook's by that point. Your arms alone can rival Jungkook's abs. And Jungkook is always muscular. And then the same thing happened with Jin's legs. He never skipped leg day, that's for sure. He said I could, but he replied to that, I could do it again. Do you want a picture of me when I weighed 80 kilograms? I feel like coming out of the military, since the military, they would have to work out a lot more than than when they would come out of the military and not be doing as much rigorous activity as what they were doing, because with dancing you're not really building any muscle mass. You're staying fit for sure, but you're not building any muscle mass. When he first came out, his arms were huge, super super muscular. Jin's legs were also super muscular. On stage, the pants that they had were a little baggy, so not like baggy, but like they were kind of loose around the legs. So it was kind of hard to see their legs because none of them were wearing shorts. So I don't know if Jin's leg muscles are still as big, but But now that they're not in the military anymore and they have been out for a while, I don't think they would keep up with weightlifting nearly as much as they did before. So, I feel like losing muscle mass would be understandable, and if they would prefer to keep that muscle mass off and they feel like they don't really need it anymore, I don't mind if they don't get it back. It was crazy to see in the moment, though. Let's see. What else did he do? Looks like this was all today as well. So, this post this person put it both in Korean and English. "I can't believe myself that Taehyung commented on my post, thank you." And he said, "Oh, the sparring is clogged up." I don't know what that was. But because sometimes the translation on Weverse is kind of weird. Feel like they use Google Translate, but it actually sometimes feels worse than Google Translate. So this last post that he responded to said, "Taehyung, are you having any trouble sleeping again? Do you want me to talk about something?" And he said, "Is that right?" Um, I feel like with their sleep schedules, they work extremely hard, and right now, I guess part of the reason right now could be jet lag because they are going across the world, constantly going west, so jet lag could be part of it, but under normal circumstances, when they're just hanging out, or working back home in South Korea, my god, they all work so hard to the point where sometimes it affects their sleep schedule. They stay up because it's the only time that they have to unwind, to the point where they skip breakfast, or, um, sometimes they just can't sleep. Like, they might have nightmares, or like they wake up in a cold sweat, or stress keeps them up, or something that keeps them from having a good rest at night. So during the day, not only are they exhausted, it's also a reason why Suga sleeps a lot. Like, I know it's a joke and he keeps the joke going. I don't think he minds it being a joke that he sleeps a lot during the day in the studio. And that he's called a cat for it. I think even he plays into it, but there's a legitimate reason for it. It's because sometimes his nights are kind of messed up to where either he can't sleep or he wakes up in a cold sweat. So because he just can't rest at night, whenever time he has, like whenever they get a moment in the studio, he leans back and closes his eyes. And hi. And it's a real reason as to why he does that. So, honestly, them resting during the day sometimes it makes sense to me. If they have trouble sleeping, it it sucks, but I get it. Where they have so much stress keeping them up at night. But I hope they're able to at least sleep a little bit better because I know that excuse me, while they were here in Tampa, they had 2 shows back to back and then a break day, and then they had one more show before moving on. So, I know a lot of them took that time to, like, explore Tampa and hang out, but I hope some of them at least were able to use the day to rest, to sleep, something, get some of their energy back. Um, I don't know. I want them to be okay. Really? God, if only gifts could work on here like that, that would've been funny. Um, but you get what I mean. But that was all from today. From the 20th, it looks like Hobie was active. Um, but I'd have to go back and see what the live stream was in order to tell you what was there. Because as far as updates are concerned, they're in Stanford and the music awards are coming up. Oh, and in July, they are going to be one of 3 artists performing in FIFA's halftime show. for the world final. I think it's the first time they're doing this. Um, Not BTS, I mean FIFA. I think it's their first time doing a halftime show like this. Um, and the commercial was funny because it was Sesame Street and the Muppets. So they had Elmo call BTS on, "You really want me to have access to gifts in the live chat?" Probably not. That's a good point. Probably not. But in any case, they had Elmo call BTS on FaceTime on speed dial, and all of them were there. They were in a hotel room. It looked like a hotel room in the US. So it was kind of funny because all 7 of them were there having their phone up like this, FaceTiming Elmo. But they are going to be one of 3 artists at the FIFA halftime show in New Jersey in July. It's going to be on July 19th. There's also going to be Shakira and Madonna. And I'm extremely excited. I'm actually going on vacation for a few days. And literally the day after that vacation ends, the halftime show starts the next day. Or the final happens the next day with the halftime show. I wanna try and see it. I'm not sure if it's gonna be live at all because it's gonna take place in New Jersey, so I won't be up there, of course. I'll be down here. So, I don't know. I don't know what the what they have in mind as far as streaming the halftime show, but I'm excited to see them. I have a feeling that because it's gonna be 3 artists, it's gonna be 3 different songs. I don't know what they plan on performing, so I don't know if it's gonna be one of their songs from ARIRANG or something. Um, but, but again, about the music awards, since it's going to be this coming Monday, Memorial Day, so if you have the day off, definitely enjoy it. Um, it's gonna be at 8 p.m. EST on Paramount Plus and CBS. It's gonna be live. And, seeing them going up with a bunch of artists from that have, like, blown up this year and are coming back this year, it's gonna be super fun. And getting to see, uh, Tomorrow By Together there with them is gonna be cool too. I don't know who they're gonna be sitting with, but I'm excited to see it. Lots of good artists there. Um, Not really songs that I've been keeping up with lately because it's mostly stuff from this year or the very end of last year. Um, so we got so it's mostly all new stuff. Um, which I don't mind. But it's gonna be cool to see because there's like I said, there's 50 categories. 50. So I have a feeling that we're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff. Um, there's gonna be lots of cool moments for sure. Um, and if they get up there, I'm really hoping that they walk away with at least one of the 3 awards that they were nominated for. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But, but now I also wanna hear from you. If you have any points about BTS that you wanna talk about, leave it in the comments. Um, we have about 20 minutes left, and, there aren't many, people here with me at the moment, so that's why it took me a little bit longer to get to this point. But I wanna hear from Army, and, I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on the chat and, talking about little things here and there, if we don't get anything right now, but like the person who was talking about the tracker, if you have anything I want it to mostly be BTS related, but if it's important, it's definitely important. If it's related to a past video that I had or, like something that we talked about today, I will dedicate a little bit of the stream to it, Um, if it's an important topic that doesn't really relate to what we're doing, I will reply to you in the comments, because then it just I don't wanna, put it in a stream where it just doesn't fit, you know what I mean? Um, but going forward, I'm gonna be talking about more updates with BTS, but any topics from the past that you want me to talk about, I'm more than open to talking about anything from the past. We can't watch anything yet. I wanna definitely figure that out so that we can watch stuff together, whether it's Run BTS or music videos, something. I wanna make sure that we're able to share ARMY moments together, and talk about BTS and what's going on with them in this space. This is an army zone and it's going to stay an army zone forever. Um but uh but yeah, any questions, any comments, any topics, I will be keeping an eye on my comments all week and coming back to you next week with more updates and such. Um But, uh but like I said, I wanna hear from you. So, if you have anything that you wanna put in the comments now, now is the opportunity to, because at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna be closing this out. And right now it is 7:41. So if you have any questions at all about ARIRANG, the music awards, the comeback tour, if you have any experiences that you wanna share so far, your own ARMY journeys, something about the game, as long as it's not a spoiler, um, definitely talk about it. It's Army's turn to talk. Give me one moment, please. Gotta say what's funny is I'm losing my voice a little bit more talking for 2 hours than I did screaming for more hours at the concert. What is your question? I see that you have a question. What is it? I'll give you a minute to type. If it's a long question, it'll take you a minute to type. Hang on one second. What's your question? Is butter salted butter or unsalted butter? Are you talking about the song? The song Butter? See my dog walking around. Hi, what you doing? You come to join us for our last 15 minutes? What you doing? She just turned around and now is just standing in my doorway. And now she's laying down in my doorway. I don't know if she knew what she was doing or wanted to do. But she's just being dog. More seriously, how do you feel about the song itself? Insights like you had on Swim. For Butter? Hmm. Well, my opinion on Butter is kinda personal a little bit. Because like I said in my first stream, there were a few songs in Just Dance by BTS that I bonded with, which is how I got into BTS in the first place. Um, so Butter, I feel like is one of the dances that put me on this path in the first place. The very first was definitely Dynamite, and Butter I feel like was the third one, maybe, I think. No, I think it was the second one cuz Butter was the one that had the achievements. So I had to focus on it. Um but Butter, hmm. Butter, I feel like, is more of a really cool dancing experience to me. I can see that it means a lot to BTS. Mainly, I think it's because it's one of their big ones that like blew them up big time. So with Butter, what's cool is that Butter also had a lot of really cool remixes. The Butter music video, I feel like was pretty cool. Dancing, awesome. But my favorite ones were definitely the Hot remix, and there was another remix that they had where the music video was very colorful. Um, Jimin had Jimin had white, or not white, it was blonde hair all the way around with purple bangs here and a little pink strip. And Jungkook's hair was purple. I forgot which remix that was. I'm gonna have to look back at it, um but those music videos have funny moments in it that also helps me warm up to BTS even more. So, I feel like Butter as a song in general definitely held my hand when getting to know the members, um, and getting to know, like, their humor and everything. Because the moments I saw in the Hot remix, it was some goofy moments of Jin, like, having an attitude, like, doing this kind of mad attitude, like a parent kind of attitude at the camera, which was funny. But as V is singing, you can see Jimin in the back like this, and then falling out of his chair. And then while they were filming the other one, the one where I forgot which remix it was. Correct me in the comments, please, if you don't mind. One of the first songs you showed me. Yep. It was one of the first songs I knew. Um so definitely one of the first for both of us, for sure. I remember while they were filming the other one, when they were taking a break, the way V sneezes is that, like, sometimes the other members are kinda loud, but V yells when he sneezes a lot. Like, there was one time where he was like, He just makes a funny sound. But while they were filming this one video, he turned around, arms were crossed. He wasn't facing the camera at all. And when he was in the middle of the room, ha! All of a sudden, he just screamed. I think he scared some of the staff and the other members. They were laughing so hard that Jimin decided to go up and imitate him. Ha! Wah! Ha! And it was just making everybody laugh. They're goofy. They're all just goofy. That's why I love the members so much. They make each other laugh. They're there for each other. They pick each other up. But Butter to me is more of a dancing experience than anything. But definitely a BTS staple. Uh same with Dynamite and Boy with Love, but I feel like with those two, they hit on different levels. I feel like because Dynamite was the very first music video. So Dynamite I definitely felt like had more of a connection with them. Boy with Love had so much upbeat, joyful energy. Not that Butter doesn't, but Butter is more of that like cool vibe because they have leather jackets through the whole thing. And so Butter I feel is more of like that like strong, hot kind of looking song. Boy with Love was more cutesy. Cutesy, upbeat. So Boy with Love I hold a little bit higher than Butter, but Butter is definitely my third out of the songs on Just Dance for um for BTS songs. Um so seeing I knew for a fact that they were going to do Dynamite and Butter on in the concert. There was no way that they weren't. Because I remember before I saw Jin live, I saw a live stream of J Hope's Lollapalooza, and he did a segment of Dynamite and Butter, and he did only his part in both songs. It was a short segment of each song that were put together, but it was meant to be like I feel like it was meant to be like his tribute to the rest of the members because he and Jin were the only ones out at that point of the military. And then since J Hope did it, I had a feeling that Jin was going to do it too, and he did. He did his own segment of those songs as well. So when they now that they're doing this world tour, going to the concert, I'm like, they're going to do Dynamite and they're going to do Butter. There's no way they're not going to do either one of them. Boy with Love is a maybe, but Dynamite and Butter, no doubt about it. If they didn't do Dynamite or Butter, I would have been shocked. I would have been so shocked if they didn't do Dynamite or Butter. I remember the other song on Just Dance was Seven. And after I got into them a little bit more and looked at their music videos, I started laughing my butt off because the dance for Seven is nowhere near the choreography that Jungkook does. Um, it's very, very goofy. It's basically doing this. Where the actual choreography is very complex. And I feel like they should have done an extreme version of that dance doing the actual choreography, but they didn't. In my honest opinion, if Just Dance were to pick BTS back up, Swim and 2.0, definitely good options, but I feel like they should do Mic Drop. Mic Drop, I feel like would have been a perfect addition to Just Dance. But they haven't done anything BTS related since 2024. Now we're in 2026, and they haven't even touched the main story. So, Just Dance has me a little bit disappointed. Still good songs, still good dances. But I'm here for the story, really, so Just Dance has kind of got me a little bit disappointed. So we have about 5 minutes left. If anybody has any other topics that they want to bring up, any other questions, points, anything, experiences, anything BTS related, definitely put it in the comments. I definitely want to hear from you. I want to hear from all of ARMY, not just me. I won't rush either, because I know it takes a minute for some people to type, especially depending on where you are. Because someone who has been typing and commenting and keeping up with this whole stream can't always can't always type, can't always look at his phone, because that person's at work, doing overtime at work, and is also commenting on this live stream. Granted, there's not much to see, so if he keeps it in his pocket, it's gonna be fine. My dog has moved from the doorway to the hallway. I don't know what she's thinking. But I don't know, I'm excited to hear from you guys from Army. If you yeah. If Irish gold is Irish butter, is BTS butter Korean butter? Hmm. I don't know. I think it's bulletproof butter, but it's definitely the smoothest butter that I have ever known. BTS butter. Yeah. BTS butter is smooth. The dance is smooth. As smooth as the butter. For sure. Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna start making some closing remarks. If you're still typing, please go ahead. We have a few minutes yet. Um, so don't feel rushed. But like I said, the music awards is going to be live on Monday at 8 p.m. EST. So it's going to be on Paramount Plus if you have Paramount Plus and CBS. So hopefully you won't be able to miss it. If you regardless if you do or not, next week I'm going to come back and do another live stream like this. I'm going to talk about the music awards, anything cool that I happen to see in it, and I'm also going to I'm going to watch what they have so far of Run BTS. Uh or BTS's trip, I guess is another thing that they're calling it. Cuz I was going to do that for last week. Brother. Yeah. I was going to do that for excuse me, for last week, but as you could hear through the entirety of this live stream, I was not feeling good. Last week I had a fever, and this week, thankfully, it's just leftover cold symptoms, mostly from taking nose spray a little bit too much. Um, but I've stopped using nose spray entirely for the last few days, so hopefully I won't be nasally for so long. Maybe at some point for these live streams, of course, once this goes away because it's affecting my singing, I want to see, because I know Jungkook does some karaoke live streams where he just live streams himself singing. I don't know what karaoke setup he has, but I kind of wish I had it. Um, but regardless, maybe some karaoke nights would be kind of fun. Um, but I'll definitely be talking more about uh BTS's trip next week and the music awards, so that we have some updates to talk about. I'll be keeping an eye on Instagram and Weverse, seeing what updates BTS has. If you have any ideas, even if it's from the past, any topics, moments, experiences, questions, anything at all that you want to bring up during these live streams, let me know in the comments of any of the live streams, because I'll be keeping an eye on them. Any topic that gets brought up, I will be addressing. Because this is, like I keep saying, this is an army zone. This is our zone, not just mine. I want to hear from everybody. This is our place to come in and talk about the members and work together for the members. So I hope I have I lost my track of thought. Um, but I have to go now, guys. It was a lot of fun coming on here talking to you about everything that we've talked about already. Um, so I'm hoping you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your weekend. Happy Memorial Day for us in the US. And that's about it. So please stay safe. Please be happy, truly happy, with real smiles on your face. And stay safe, stay healthy. Um, because whatever I got to give me the fever, I think something's going around. There was a stomach bug going around. So definitely keep your health up. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.